Welcome again to the hospitality management class. Today we will discuss travel and tourism. At first, the travel. What is meant by travel? Travel simply means to go from one place to another place or make a journey. We know that the person who is making this travel, who travels, is called traveler. The term very familiar to us with the word travel is travel agency. A travel agency is the establishment which gives information and which arranges reservations and sells tickets to travelers. The question is this: why people travel? People travel either for pleasure or for business, or sometimes both for pleasure and business. We can see the reasons for the pleasure travel. The pleasure travel may be to visit friends and relatives, or to experience new and different surroundings, to experience other cultures, to get rest and relaxation, and also to view and participate in sporting and recreational activities. Thus, we could see the different reasons or purposes for which people travel. According to McIntosh and Goldner, there are 4 motivations for the travel. They are the physical motivations, cultural motivations, interpersonal motivations, status and prestige motivations. These are the motivations behind travel. The first one, cultural motivation. Cultural motivation is the desire of human beings to acquire and experience new knowledge and culture. It may be the cultures of other countries, maybe the knowledge and awareness regarding music, art, folklore, religion, dance, painting, and other cultural activities. The second motivation is interpersonal motivation. Interpersonal motivation is the desire to meet new people. It is the desire to interact with people. Under this motivation, people often travel to visit friends and relatives, to meet new and different people, and also to escape from the routine office, family, or neighborhood experiences. Another factor under this interpersonal motivation is the desire to make new friends. Under this interpersonal motivation, people are interested to interact with human beings, and whenever he gets an opportunity to interact with other people, he will make use of it. Often they travel a lot to meet other people, relatives and friends. The next motivation is the physical motivation. This is the motivation for getting some physical rest. It may be for the purpose of getting rest for the body. It may be for sports events, or for some beach activities, or to improve the health and to get some relaxation to the body. Another motivation is the status and prestige motivation. Human beings travel to get recognition and approval from others. Sometimes people travel in some important places just for getting some recognition. He feels that if he does not travel to such a place, it will be a humiliating thing. So he travels to that place. Sometimes people travel to some other places just to get the attention of other people. He wants to be present in that situation. In order to make the others feel that this person is present, he travels. Another occasion is to get appreciation. Sometimes people feel that some travels will be helpful to get the appreciation from others, and he travels for it. On another occasion, in order to get some reputation, it may be his duty or responsibility to travel to certain place or to visit some other people. To get that reputation, to avail that reputation, he travels to another places. There is some other travel, the business travel. Business people always travel from one place to another to meet his business partners or to make some business transactions and deals. It is believed that nearly 20% of human travel is for the purpose of business. In the case of airline travel, nearly 25 to 30% of air travel is consisted of business travel. We can look into the term tour. Tour is the journey to various places and coming back in the end to the place from where the journey started. That means a travel can become a tour only when the traveler comes back to the place from where he started his journey. The word tour was derived from the Latin word tournare and the related Greek word tornos. The meaning of these words is a lathe or circle. How a circle is related to tour? A circle represents a starting point which ultimately returns back to its beginning. Therefore, like a circle, a tour represents a round trip. That is the act of leaving and then returning to the original starting point. Therefore, a travel becomes a tour only when the traveler comes back to the starting place. In addition to this, the travel, the journey should be undertaken for more than 24 hours. A tour may be different types such as package tour, holiday tour, guided tour, etc. First, we can see what is meant by tour package or package tour. When we say a package tour or a tour package, it means a pre-arrangement, prepaid trip that combines two or more travel components like airfare, accommodation and other services. A tour package is a total tourism product which includes transportation from the starting area to the destination, accommodation at the destination, and recreational activities promoted by the tourists. The firm or company who sells this tour package is called a tour operator. The tour operator combines all the travel components in a package and sells them at all-inclusive prices to the clients. Now the types of tour packages. A travel agency or a tour operator deals with a variety of tour packages catering to the diverse needs of tourists. These are broadly classified into 5 categories. The first one, independent tours, then escorted tours, then hosted tour, then fourth one is incentives tour, and the last one is freedom tour. Now we can look at these 2 packages one by one. The first one, independent tour. Independent tours are prepared for those tourists who want to travel independently. Air travel, air transfer, accommodation, travel documents, sightseeing, boat riding, entertainment and all other travel services will be provided by the tour operator to an independent person. Here, the tourist is an independent person and there is nobody to accompany him. Escorted tour. Unlike to the independent tour, here the tourists are accompanied or escorted by tourist manager or tourist guides. When a travel agency includes the services of a well-educated and trained tour manager in its tour package, the tour is called an escorted tour. Here the escort, the tour manager or tourist guide will help the tourist in sightseeing, arranging accommodation and getting explanations regarding the tourist places, etc. Then the third type, hosted tour. Here the tour agency utilizes the services of another agency at the destination. That means the tour operator arranges some officials to receive this tourist at the destination. For example, suppose some college students from Kerala are traveling to Bangalore, and the tour operator arranges some officials at Bangalore to receive the tourists, the college students at the airport. Here, as far as the tourists are concerned, there are some host people to receive them and to make arrangements at the destination. Tour operator is arranging such a host at the destination. This type of tour is called hosted tour. The next type of tour is incentive tour. It is a motivational program or a fully paid holiday trip which is given to the employees by the enterprises as a reward. Mostly in medium and large scale companies adopt such incentive tours to the employees. It is to motivate their employees either to maintain their track record or to increase the output or to improve the image and moreover to earn more for a long period or to create loyalty to the company. Anyway, the complete expense, the total expenses of this kind of tours are borne by the company. And the last type, freedom tours. Now, most of the people come forward to make some tours. Therefore, they might have visited many places. In such a situation, they may have certain choices. They may want to visit some special places which they have not yet gone or visited. In such a situation, the tour operator is arranging such a tour according to the choices of the tourist. Here, the tour operator is giving freedom to those tourists to decide the places to visit. The tourist is free to choose and plan how they want to travel and enjoy their holidays. These type of tours are meant for that kind of people who like to decide how, when and where to travel. Freedom tours are becoming very popular in these days among the working class. The person who makes the tour is called tourist. There are two kinds of tourists: domestic tourist and foreign tourist. A domestic tourist is a person who travels within the country to a place other than his usual place of residence and stays at hotels and other rented place, uses the sightseeing facilities for duration of not less than 24 hours. Tourist is called a domestic tourist when a person travels within the country And the duration of the travel should be a minimum 24 hours and maximum 6 months. Foreign tourist. Who is a foreign tourist? A foreign tourist is one who visits India. As far as India is concerned, a foreign tourist is one who visits India on a foreign passport, staying at least 24 hours in India. And the purpose of journey must be a business, family, or meeting, or for pleasure. In order to call a tourist as a foreign tourist, he must be a foreign citizen with a foreign passport. He must come to India and he should spend at least 24 hours in India. He can spend these 24 hours either for business purpose or for family purpose or for meeting other people or simply for the leisure purpose. The next topic, tourism. Tourism is travel for recreational, leisure or business purpose. It is an essential part of our life nowadays because it refreshes the mind. It gives relaxation to the body and reduces the stress of our life. According to the Tourism Society of Britain, tourism is the temporary, short period movement of people to the destination outside the places where they normally live, work, and activities during their stay at these destinations. This definition explains tourism as the temporary, short period movement of people. However, it should be remembered that the journey should not be less than 24 hours and a maximum of 6 months. In the case of international tourism and some other cases, it is a maximum period of 1 year. Then there is a question. If a person makes a tour for a period which is less than 24 hours, what term can be used to denote that type of trip? Is it a simple journey or a travel or a tour? Usually, in order to mention the travel or journey or a pleasure trip for a period, for a short period, very short period, which is less than 24 hours, the term excursion is used. If it is for more than 24 hours up to a maximum of 1 year, the word tour is used. There are different types of tourism. In 1994, the United Nations classified 3 forms of tourism in its recommendations on tourism statistics. These 3 tourisms are domestic tourism, inbound tourism and outbound tourism. Domestic tourism is the tourism which involves the residents of the given country traveling within country. That means if the residents of India are traveling within the country, within India, it is called as domestic tourism. Then another tourism is international tourism. The foreign people come to India, it is international tourism. This international tourism can be inbound tourism or outbound tourism. We can look the inbound tourism. We know that a number of non-resident Indians are living outside India. If these people, these non-residents of India, are coming to India for a tour, that type of tour is called inbound tourism. In inbound tourism, it involves non-residents traveling in the given country. And then outbound tourism, when foreign nationals, foreign citizens are traveling in India or make a tour in India, it is outbound tourism. In addition to the domestic tourism and international tourism, recently a number of forms of tourism have been developed. As the definition defines, tourism involves two elements, at least two elements: the journey to the destination and also the stay. And of course, there will be some entertainments and pleasure activities during the stay. That means wherever there is movement of people for a short period of time and a stay in the destination, and there is enjoyment, there we can see tourism. There are many situations when people travel to other places which are away from their home place and stay there for some time. For example, Indian cricket team is making a tour to Australia. The tour consists of 3 one-day, 3 T20 and 2 test matches. How many Indian cricket lovers will go to Australia to watch and enjoy these matches? Here we can see the tourism, as a number of people are traveling to Australia. These people are welcomed, received, entertained by Australia. These people are spending a short period of time in Australia. They are making their enjoyment by watching the cricket matches. They are spending time in Australia by seeing cricket matches. This is tourism. This tourism is related to cricket. Therefore, we can call this tourism as cricket tourism. Similar tourisms can also be seen in times of World Cups, football and cricket World Cups, in times of Olympics, in times of Asian Games, in times of Commonwealth Games, etc., etc. In such situations, we can see tourism related to sports. So generally, these type of tourisms can be called as sports tourism. Still, another possibility, it is in the case of education. A number of students from India are traveling to foreign countries to make their higher degrees, professional degrees, etc. A number of people are going to UK and USA in order to take their MBA program. A number of students from India are going to China to take their medical degree. A lot of students are traveling to Australia to get a professional degree. Similarly, a number of students from various countries are also coming to India for their higher studies. In such situation, there is the movement of people from one country to another country just for the purpose of education. These students are traveling to another country, these students are staying in another country and they are spending their time there. This kind of traveling and stay can be termed as tourism. This is educational tourism. Similarly, there is medical tourism when the people are traveling to another country for getting cheaper and better medical treatment. A lot of people are traveling to some developed countries to get higher, better medical treatment. This is medical tourism. That means in all these situations we can see an adjective like educational, sports, medical, etc. are used with the term tourism. A lot of other tourisms are also can be seen like this. All these tourisms can be togetherly called as adjectival tourism, because an adjective like educational, sports, medicine, etc. are used along with the term tourism, and these are adjectival tourism. Now we can see some other adjectival tourism practices see nowadays. Sustainable tourism. The word sustainable means which conserves an ecological balance by avoiding depletion of natural resources. Under sustainable tourism, the tourists are very particular in keeping or in maintaining the ecological environment. They try to minimize the depletion of resources, natural resources, and depletion of ecological balance. That means they want to sustain the ecology, they want to maintain the environment for the future generations. This kind of tourism is called sustainable tourism. Sustainable tourism brings welfare to the locals and does not impact the nature. The top sustainable tourism destinations in the world are the Republic of Guyana, Slovenia, Portugal, Ecuador, etc. Similar to sustainable tourism, another word, responsible tourism, is to be examined. Responsible tourism is like a sustainable tourism. However, responsible tourism is any form of tourism that can be consumed in a more responsible way. It generates greater economic benefits for local people and enhances the well-being of host communities. Another tourism is agri-tourism. It is always termed as agro-tourism. It is normally occurs on farms. It gives travelers an opportunity to experience rural life, taste the local genuine food, and get familiar with various farming tasks also. Agri-tourism includes a wide variety of activities, including buying produces directly from the farm, picking fruits, feeding animals, and staying at a bed and breakfast on a farm. Another term is cultural tourism. Cultural tourism is where travelers engaged with a country's or religion's culture, especially the lifestyle and other elements that shaped the life of the people. Tourists here get immersed with related activities such as their rituals and festivals. Suppose the foreign tourists are coming to Kerala to get an experience of Thrissur Puram, or to watch and enjoy Kathakali or Nehru Trophy boat race. All these are parts of cultural tourism. The culture of another country is enjoyed by the foreign citizens, foreign people. Some of the popular cultural tourism destinations in the world are Madagascar, Indonesia, Latvia, British Columbia, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Greece, etc. Foreign tourists are also coming to Kerala and some other parts of India to enjoy these cultural tourism products. Another term, ecotourism. Ecotourism, it is also known as ecological tourism. It is responsible travel to fragile and usually protected areas. Ecotourism Society defines ecotourism as responsible travel to natural areas that conserves the environment, sustains the well-being of the local people, and involves interpretation and education. It involves maintenance and enhancement of natural systems such as water, air, woods, forest, fauna, and flora. That means the protection and maintenance of ecological balance is the aim of ecotourism. Now the word dark tourism. Dark tourism is also known as disaster tourism, black tourism, grief tourism, etc. This is the tourism involving travel to places historically associated with death and tragedy. This type of tourism involves visits to dark sites such as battlegrounds, scenes of horrific crimes or acts of genocide. A visit to concentration camps is one of the examples of dark tourism. Related to dark tourism, another tourism, namely doom tourism, can be explained. Doom tourism is also known as tourism of doom or last chance tourism. It involves traveling to places that are environmentally or otherwise threatened. Perhaps we may not be able to see these places, these regions again in our lifetime. That means these areas, these places are threatened and it may be destructed or devastated. So, to make use of the last chance to watch these places, people are going there, visiting these places. And of course, another very important tourism, space tourism. Compared with traditional destinations, a number of tourists are now ready to make use of modern technologies such as a space elevator to make a space travel. This kind of tourism to space can be termed as space tourism. Technological improvement is likely to make possible airship hotels based on solar-powered airplanes. Even though this sounds futuristic, it has already an established history. And now, wildlife tourism. Wildlife tourism can be broadly defined as trips to destinations with the main purpose of visit being to observe the local fauna. This is considered as a part of adventure tourism. Adventure tourism involves the exploration of remote places where travelers can expect the unexpected. It is quite adventurous to make a trip to such places. Mountain biking, skiing, skydiving, etc. are examples of this adventure tourism. Wildlife tourism to some areas, to some danger areas, can also be considered as adventure tourism. Okay, we will have further discussions on the topic in the coming classes. Thank you.